Hey everybody, this is Mr. Phil at Alabama Hot Sauce. That's alabamahotsauce.com on the web. Today we're in the test kitchen and we're going to ferment some beautiful orange habanero peppers. These things are spicy hot. I've already tasted them. They're going to make some wonderful sauces. I'm constantly fermenting test batches. I'm constantly testing recipes. So I'm going to let you join me today as I cut up a few orange habanero peppers and we put them in a mash. The way we process the habaneros is I first snap the stem off. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull the stem off these peppers. If you grab them and put a little twist and a bend on them, they come off just as easy as you might imagine. We're going to grab our chef's knife and I'm going to make one cut across each pepper. The mash machine would easily handle the whole pepper, and I do that sometimes. But habaneros are rather thin-skinned, so it's easy for mold in particular to get inside on the seeds. So I cut them so that I can take a look inside every single pepper. If I see anything that's dark, I don't bother to assume that it's just the pepper's dried, seeds dried up, which it probably is 99% of the time. I throw them away. I don't ferment peppers with dark seeds. One cut's all it takes because the blades in the macerator are going to chop them up into a wonderful mash, perfect for our purposes. Before we started the camera today, I went ahead and chopped up the vast majority of these things because I've got a bowl, I think it's about 4.65 pounds in this bowl, full of habanero peppers. They're chopped up and now we're going to put them in the grinder and turn them into mash. Now today, I'm going to use something a little different than what you see me using. I'm going to use my old 10-year-old Ninja. You can tell how old it is because in this one, the motor goes on the top. But the reason I'm going to do that is because this is a 3-blade cutter where my Vitamix is a 1 blade at the bottom. Now the Vitamix is more efficient, but this runs a little slower and I think it will turn it into a good mash without completely venting habanero fumes into this whole room. So, I'm going to fill up the Ninja blender. Now this blender wouldn't work very well for making the fine blend that's necessary to make a hot sauce, but it'll work just fine for this mash. Alright, now, put our top on. Set our motor in, and we pulse. I got a half a gallon jar. We got our funnel. Let's spread a little towel out on this. We got our spatula, so I'm going to put our mash in the jar. Turning into a pretty wet situation here. These habaneros will just about choke you. Even wearing this mask, I gotta tell you, I'm in a small amount of misery here. I just got a few more, so I'm going to put these in there. Now, I think my weight was about right when I said about 4.65 pounds, maybe more like 4.2 pounds, because I know exactly how much it takes to fill up one of these jars to the safe fermenting line. Now, as you know, my next step is to add the salt that's going to make this mashed pepper turn into a beautiful fermented mash. We do that by adding in about 4% of the total weight of the peppers. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my scale here. And we're going to find out how much the jar weighs. I got an empty jar here. We'll put it up. It weighs 754 grams, which is what I thought. I'm going to zero that. I then weigh this jar. And this says we have 1,123 grams. So 4% of 1,123 is about 45 grams of salt. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take a measuring cup. I'm going to set it on the scale. We're going to tire it out to 0. And we're going to add in 45 grams of salt. Now I'm using pickling and canning salt, but any kind of pure salt will work. And there is exactly 45 grams of salt. Now what I'm going to do, to get this salt distributed out in this jar, I'm going to pour in a little bit as I'm upsetting the mash here so the salt goes down. As you know, what's going to happen is the salt is going to do what it does to all vegetable and meats. That is, it's going to draw the water out. And this pepper is going to ferment in its own juices. So we're not adding additional water like we would do with chopped vegetables in a brine. Looking wonderful here. I like to ferment using a vacuum during the entire time of the fermentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off the top of this jar to make sure we get a really good seal with our vacuum lid. I'm going to screw on one of these one-way vacuum valves caps you see me using. Get it good and tight. I'm now going to go in with this little hand pump and I'm going to remove all the air from that head space. As the air comes out, the oxygen that's in the air comes out. So what's left in there is a vacuum, absent almost all the oxygen, and that cuts it down on the chance that mold and pathogens can grow in there. I'm convinced vacuum fermenting is the only way to go, folks. Now what we have here is we have a beautiful jar, a beautiful ferment starter of hot, sweet, citrusy orange habanero peppers. After about 2 weeks of fermenting, this will be ready to make an absolutely wonderful, steaming hot Alabama hot sauce. Folks, I want to thank you for joining me. It was nice to have you here in the kitchen. Keep a lookout on our website at alabamahotsauce.com. I appreciate you joining me, and we'll see you next time.